installment of AA Computers and Technology, and I am sorry for the awkward camera angle, guys. There are just too many of these Sun workstations in this room right now, and by too many I mean all of 3. These things are just massive, and let me tell you, they weigh a ton. Each of them probably weighs over 50 pounds, because I just had to haul them over here, and it was crazy trying to get them over here. I don't know how in the world I'm going to ship these if I even sell any of them, because they just weigh a ton. It's going to cost like $100 to ship each one of these. So anyway, as you can see, guys, today we'll be taking a look at this Sun Microsystem, or these Sun Microsystem Ultra 80 workstations slash servers. These were both used as both a server and a workstation. They were more commonly used as workstations though. As you can see, I'm kind of sketchy on my facts. This video is going to be like a Windows user taking a look at Mac OS and then trying to talk about it, because these are way out of my comfort zone. I had very little knowledge on Sun Microsystem workstations and servers. And there's a lot of weird hardware in here, so it's going to be really interesting to take a look at every single one of these and see what's inside all of them. So let's go ahead and get started. I think we're going to start with this one first. We're going to tear down each one of these and see what kind of hardware is in them. I think at this point it's probably all going to be the same stuff, so I'll try to make it quick. But who knows, we might find something different in each one. I've only torn down one so far. I don't even remember which one it is, but it had 4 processors running at 450 megahertz. I think it had like 2 gigs of RAM. So we'll see what the configuration of each of these systems is. I'm sorry, guys, we won't be able to boot these up into an operating system because they require a proprietary keyboard. I don't know why that didn't come out, but it didn't. And I just don't have it. They require a special Sun Microsystem keyboard, and it's something I just don't have in the inventory right now. And unfortunately, it will not. Obviously, these are too old to take advantage of a USB keyboard, or you know, they won't even work with a PS2 keyboard or a mouse, which is extremely frustrating. So the most I can do after this is just sell them. I can't do any benchmarks or anything fun like that, like we did with the last server that we took a look at. So I'm ranting now. Let's go ahead and tear one of these down. And I haven't really touched on how I acquired these. I was actually walking down from my chemistry lab at the college that I go to, and I saw these sitting on a cart that said trash in the hallway. So I went ahead and asked one of the administrators there, and they said I could go ahead and take all 3 of them. So I pulled my car up to the building, put all 3 of them in the back, and took them home. And I wasn't really expecting them to work, and at first they didn't. And before I do take a look around this one, I want to stress on this fact. For some reason, someone took the front panels off and didn't put them on right, and I thought this was the reason why they threw the systems out, because they wouldn't turn on, but actually it appears that the power button doesn't work now. But if you take the front panel off, you can see that it's not aligned properly. So if we take it off, if I can get it off, there we go, and realign it, the power button works. So someone was screwing around with that, and that might have been part of the problem why they threw these out, because maybe when the students got to it and then put it on incorrectly, and then they thought it just didn't work anymore and didn't bother to take a look at these. And also, these are old. I think support dropped for these in 2007, I believe. So yeah, that's also one of the reasons. So I just thought that was interesting. Someone was tampering with all these, and I had to replace or put the front covers back on properly. But let's go ahead and take a look around the first one that we are going to dissect. Okay, so starting from the front, there's not much here. You can see that there is a DVD drive installed in the system, and there are extra drive bays here, one for a floppy. It appears you can install another CD or DVD drive there. Below that, you can see the Sun Microsystem logo. Let me get this in focus. And then you can see our model, the Ultra 80 Expert 3D LITE. So I think this was probably used as a workstation, not a server, because it has enhanced graphic capabilities compared to the some of the other models. I'm going to zoom out here, take a look at the right side. You can see that's vented here. And did I mention that cooling on this system is absolutely superb? When we go inside this, you'll see that it has some massive fans, but the things are really quiet and they move a ton of air. So cooling on this system is just amazing. I'm going to take a look at the back now. There's nothing really on the top or bottom. Take a look at the back. You could see that the system could be rack mounted. It did have the handle, and these did have the option of being rack mounted. They usually weren't, because once again, they weren't really used as servers, and when they were just propped up like a regular desktop system. You can see some serial ports here, SCSI.
the interface for the custom interface for the Sun keyboard and mouse. You have an Ethernet port right here. Some sort of audio card installed here, interestingly enough. Once again, that's another sign that was probably used as a workstation, because why install an audio card in the server? And then you can see our video card right here with another somewhat odd looking interface that might be S-Video, but for some reason I just have a gut feeling that it's not. It looks a little bit different. And if you look at the bottom, you can really tell that this thing was used in the chem lab. That is just absolutely nasty. On the left side of the system, you can see it is equipped with some more venting right here, and then the Sun Microsystem logo is engraved on the side of the case. And that's really about it as far as the outside of this computer goes. Let's go ahead and get on the ground and tear this thing up. Alright, so now it's the part we've all been waiting for, and taking the cover off this case is kind of awkward because there's no screws or anything. It's just held in by clips. So if I push down on this section and pull back, that comes out, and then this one too. There we go. And it's not really hard or anything, it's just kind of weird. And you can take a look inside the front panel, and you can see that there's some sound dampening, and it's kind of dirty, especially at the bottom where you saw all that nasty stuff. I think some of that got up in here, and it should probably be cleaned if I ever want to ship these out. But you can see, I think this is the model that I initially looked at because everything looks the same. This is equipped with the 4 Ultra Sparc II processors. I still haven't checked out what kind of RAM this is. I think 2 gigs in total are installed in this system. I'm going to go ahead and pop these out in just a second and look it up on the internet. And then you can see the weird video card and the big, gigantic fans right here. Let me move the camera over. Those things are just huge, and you can see how thick they are, and they move a ton of air. And I'll turn the system, or one of these systems, on in just a minute so we can see it in action, and then it'll just boot up into an error screen because the keyboard and mouse are not installed. But let's flip this over and take a closer look at everything. Alright, so you now have a bird's eye view of the system, and once again I'm probably going to have to stop a lot because a lot of this I have absolutely no idea about, especially the RAM and the video card. I did a little bit of research on these processors, so I can tell you a little bit about them, and then the system in general. I'm not sure what kind of power supply this thing's running, or if it's even labeled on here. It might be on the back. I think it said 120 volts at maybe 6 amps, so probably close to 600 watts there. But first, I'm going to take a look from here and work my way down. Now, right here you can see the hard drive base. These things use SCSI hard drives, and you can see the nice sound dampening they put in there. That's some nice engineering right there, so it'll run nice and quiet. And these fans, as I said before, are very quiet. I can't really get one out because it's kind of stuck in here. I do want to pull one out and show you guys, but we'll take a closer look at that when we actually turn the system on. The DVD drive right here is also SCSI, it appears. I don't think it's an IDE drive, but if I pull this out, actually, is this using an IDE, SCSI to IDE adapter? Because that would be awesome. Let me see. Oh, no way! No way! That is awesome. Check that out. These things are using SCSI to IDE adapters to use these drives. That's actually really neat. I might part one of these out just for that, because I've been having a lot of issues where I don't have SCSI drives to boot these systems from. And God, I didn't even know that. I might even be able to boot this system from an IDE hard drive with Linux on it or something like that. I'll have to try that. So maybe there'll be another video about this system coming soon, but that's really neat. And let me get this back in here first. Oh my goodness, this is awkward. There we go. Alright, working our way down, you can see the processors. Let's go ahead and pull some of these out. Once again, these are Ultra Sparc II processors, each one running at 450 megahertz. We have 4 of them in total, and that's the max this system can handle. And once again, these are kind of awkward as well. I think I pulled one of these out the other day, and I cannot recall how I did it initially. Oh, I was correct. It was just kind of hard to get out. So they are slot-based processors, as you can see, and I'm just going to pull the plastic shielding off this. Come on, plastic shielding. Alright. A little bit awkward. I'm probably going to cut some of this because I'm definitely looking a bit silly right here, but you can see our Ultra Sparc II processor board up close. Let me go ahead and change the focus on the camera so you guys can get a better look at this thing. Ooh, wrong way. And you can see the massive heat sinks on this thing. It appears that I'm not really sure what these are right here. The North Bridge and the South Bridge might already be on this board. I'm not really sure because there's 4 of them. So would there be a North Bridge and the South Bridge for each one, or would they have separate chips for that? I'm not really sure because this is a different architecture. Definitely strange. Once again, I said I'm not going to be too knowledgeable on this stuff, so if I mess something up, you can go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Really, really weird system here that I've never seen before. And it appears that the voltage regulation circuitry might already be built into these boards because you can see a transistor here. There's 2 big capacitors right here. You can also see some more heat sinks mounted to what looks like some more voltage regulation modules right there. So it's probably, everything's probably built into this board, which is really neat. You can see that this right here, this heatsink right here is the actual processor because we can see the heat shielding under here. And really, I think that's about it. I'll pull each one of these out to see if they're different, but they should all be the same. Alright, so those things were absolutely filthy. They don't look very dirty, but I pulled them out. 3 of them. I'm not going to bother pulling out the 4th one because I'm like 100% sure it's the same exact processor board. But now I want to take a look at that video card. So let's go ahead and pull that out. As you can see, there are 3 PCI 64-bit slots, 1 32-bit slot right there, and then I want to pull the video card out from the system. Alright, so this is a video card I have never seen before nor heard of. This is the WildCat III, it looks like. Definitely an older card. There are looks to be 3 physical processing units on the board. Each one probably handled a specific task, like one of them probably did shading, one of them probably handled vectors or something like that. That's how they used to do it with the video cards. You would have multiple processors doing different things on the board, not just one GPU. And you can see here that's actually taking advantage of the entire PCI 64-bit slot as well, so that's definitely interesting. I'm going to have to go online and look at this real quick because I have absolutely no data on this card. I'm going to have to find a data sheet. I finally found some data on this card. According to the VGA Museum, this is the Sun Expert 3D LITE, manufactured by 3D Labs, so there's a familiar name. This is the WildCat II card, not the WildCat III card, model MSMT71200, and I did find this model number on the back and Googled it, and that's how I got to this webpage. So we have some specifications down here. We can actually know what's in this bad boy. Alright, bus, PCI, we already saw that. Memory, this is equipped with 48 megabytes of SD RAM on board. Connectors, VGA, and stereo, yes, we already saw that as well. And then this was manufactured in 2001, and the initial price was $995. That is interesting. I wish it was still that much because I could resell it and buy a new camera that has autofocus. Anyway, that wasn't too much data, but that was actually as much as I could find. So there you go. That's all I got for you guys. We can take a closer look at the physical aspects of this card. But once again, if you have any more specs on this thing, go ahead and post it in the comments section because I need all the information, or we, myself and the viewers, need all the information we can get because I love this stuff, but sometimes it's hard to find data sheets on it. So I did a little bit more digging and I found 1 or 2 more interesting things. This Linux Spartan chip right here is actually the FPGA for this card. And then if you look closely, right here, I'm not sure if you guys saw this earlier, there's actually some sort of workaround here. And I used to see this in some of the older hardware that I worked with, but now, you know, you don't really see this anymore. They bypassed something. I guess they forgot to put a trace on the board. And they just got a piece of wire and soldered it to the board. And they it looks like they use hot glue to hold it down. So that's ingenuity right there. When you forget to do it and you don't feel like going through the whole manufacture process all over again, you just solder a piece of wire to it. Interesting. So I'm just going to give you guys a closer look at this card. We'll take a 360-degree look around it. And then I think I'll call it for the video card until we move to a different system. So it took a little bit of searching, but I found that each of these sticks holds 250 megabytes of RAM. And if you look down here, there are 2 in this section, and below that, there are 2 more sticks of RAM. Let me see if I can get the camera down there. All the way under here, which is kind of hard to get to. This slot right here was not built to be pulled out constantly, so I really don't want to mess with it. It's using Torx screws and everything, and if I take it out, I might not be able to get it back in. But there are 2 more sticks under there. If I take a look under here, you can see both of the sticks right there. So instead of 2 gigabytes of RAM, like I said earlier, the system is only equipped with 1 gig of RAM. Taking a closer look at the fans on the system, you can see that it actually says silent fan on this, and let me tell you, they are pretty quiet, especially for their age. Alright, so I just want to move around the system a little bit, give you guys a closer look at everything before I move on to the next system, because a lot of this, once again, I don't know what these chips are or what they do. So I'm just going to give you guys a close look at the motherboard. We're going to go around here, take a look at everything. I actually checked all the capacitors and everything. The capacitors on the system are actually huge. Now you can tell that's an older system and everything looks good. There's no battery leakage, or none of the capacitors are spilling electrolytic fluid everywhere. Everything is good on this system. You can see a big chip labeled Sun right there. I'm trying to get that in focus. What does this one say? Alright, so you can see the numbers right here, and if you want to, you can look those up online. I'm not really sure what that big chip does right there. Move down here. Looks like there's a big relay right there. Again, just a RAM housing right here. This looks like it's part of the power supply, and then the rest of it is under this compartment right here. I still haven't found how many watts or what this power supply is capable of delivering to the system. So I'll have to look that up online on Wikipedia or something, because it's not really labeled here. Right, and you can see there is a system speaker built in right there. And really, I think that's about it for the system. Let's go ahead and crack open another one. Now, I'm expecting to find the same hardware in this system, and if that's the case, we'll go ahead and breeze through both of these systems and then boot one of them up into the error screen that we get. But same thing with this tabs, really awkward to pull out. And these I haven't even been in yet, so we'll see what's in these. Alright, so if you take a look at it, it actually looks like the exact same thing. It's equipped with 4 processors, same amount of RAM, same serial number for the RAM. So this is rocking 1 gigabyte of RAM, same kind of engineering one to this one, all the exact same stuff. Does it have that SCSI to IDE converter? It does. And I believe that video card also has the same serial number on it as well. So this is the exact same system as the other one, and that means that the one over there is probably also the same. And I'm already fed up with dragging these things around everywhere. They just weigh too much. Same design once again. It's getting repetitive now and boring. Alright, and will you look at that? This thing's also equipped with 4 processors, also equipped with 4 sticks of RAM, so once again, 1 gigabyte of RAM. Nothing really unique looking in this particular PC. Everything looks about as nice as it did in the other computers, so this one is the exact same system. So all 3 of these are identical. Now I'm going to take this one, plug it in, plug it into a monitor, and show you guys what it looks like when it boots up, because it just boots up into an error screen, but you will also get to see all the fans running, and the volume level of this system, because it's actually pretty quiet for a server/workstation. Plugging this system in and turning it on is incredibly satisfying, because when you plug it in, there is a nice clunky relay sound coming out of it. Just sounds great. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in now and try to capture it on camera. Not sure if the crappy built-in mic on my Pentax Cube will be able to capture it or not. I always get complaints about that, and now I'm complaining about it because it's not as sensitive as I would like it to be. But we're going to plug it in, and hopefully you guys can hear it. I'll tell you guys when it happens. That was just it. It sounded like a little click. I doubt it was even captured on the camera. But let's go ahead and turn the system on. I believe I fixed the power button in this one, so it should just activate. And no, it didn't, because there is a safety mechanism, as I found out last time right here, that will not allow the computer to turn on unless you have the lid on. So I had to get a pen and shove it in there. Okay, so I have my pen now, and I removed the camera from the tripod because it's too awkward to try to operate the tripod and, you know, hold the safety release button right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. I hooked up the VGA cable to the video card because the last take of this I did not, and I was wondering why nothing was coming up on the screen, and I realized I didn't plug in the monitor. So that was definitely a bit silly on my part. So I'm gonna boot it up now. It's coming on. You can see the big fan spinning up there. Absolutely massive. And don't worry, I'll move the camera over to the screen when something pops up on the monitor. It does take a while. And eventually it should come up. Last time I tried this, it took absolutely forever. Oh no, and the pen came out of the safety release mechanism. So I'm just gonna hold it and then start the video when something actually comes up. It's actually getting really painful holding my arm up to the switch, but finally something did come up. As you can see, let me see if I can steady this a little bit with just one hand. It says can't open input device because once again we don't have anything plugged in. Keyboard not present because once again I don't have the Sun keyboard or mouse, using TTYA for input and output. So we cannot interact with the system or access anything until I get one of those Sun Microsystem keyboards or mice. And after I sell one or two of these, I might actually go out and buy the keyboard and mouse from eBay and try to get one of these up and running. And it slipped again. Gosh, that's annoying. And try to get one of these up and running with a Linux distribution or even the Solaris operating system that these originally ran. Alright, so that's going to be about it for this video, and I'm sorry about how awkward this installment was. There was just not enough space, way too many systems, and I didn't know enough about the systems to be comfortable talking about them. So I'm sure I slipped up a lot. I'm going to have to go back and edit the video and add in some annotations because I'm sure I got one or two specifications wrong, if not a lot. And once again, if you saw I got something wrong, don't complain about it. Just correct it in the comments section. Once again, I don't know too much about the system, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. I did a sneak peek video the other day, and you guys helped me out a lot with that. And unfortunately, I found out that it would not run without the Sun Workstation keyboard and mouse. So thanks for that, guys. Thanks for responding. I did read all of your comments, but unfortunately I didn't have time to respond to every single one of them because I've been really busy. But anyway, that's going to be about it for this episode of AA Computers and Technology. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can post a comment in the comment section. Please do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube video. And of course, please do not forget to like this YouTube channel. And that definitely did not come out right. I meant to say, please don't forget to like this video, and please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Oops. And if you want to check out any of these, go ahead and post a comment in the comment section, and I will send you the link to where these are located on eBay so you can check it out. Once again, it's not going to be very reasonable because shipping alone is going to cost $100 to ship these things because they're just massive. But if you're interested, go ahead and send me a comment, and I will send you a link to where you can check these out. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next installment of AA Computers and Technology.